Disappointment rarely arrives as a single dramatic blow. Instead, it's a slow, persistent drizzle. Each small setback, each closed door, gradually wearing away resolve. Over time, these minor defeats accumulate, quietly reshaping the landscape of hope. The spirit doesn't break. It bends, gradually bowing under pressure. And so you adjust, not out of choice, but necessity. When persistence finally gives way, it's often mislabeled as laziness or weakness. In reality, this exhaustion is a protective mechanism, a biological shutdown to conserve energy. The brain, obsessed with efficiency, decides it's wasteful to keep striving when nothing changes. Think of willpower as a well. Repeated failure drains it dry. When the well is empty, the brain calls a ceasefire, a strategic retreat, not a moral failing. It's not giving up, it's living to fight another day. Understanding this is the first step toward compassion for yourself. Psychology calls this shutdown learned helplessness. Seligman's experiments showed that when animals faced inescapable adversity, they stopped trying, even when escape became possible. The brain rewires itself, uncoupling effort from reward. Dopamine, the motivation chemical, dwindles as the brain learns that effort leads nowhere. The dopaminergic baseline drops, and anticipation of success fades. The world loses its color. Activities once enjoyed now seem pointless. This isn't a conscious choice, but a chemical consequence. The will is suppressed, and even simple tasks feel exhausting. The brain powers down, waiting for evidence that effort matters again. Until then, it remains in a state of quiet, watchful stillness. Learned helplessness is not apathy. It's the brain's way of conserving energy in a world that stopped responding. Recovery begins when the brain receives new evidence that action can make a difference. Relentless disappointment reshapes our sense of self through the 3 Ps: personalization, pervasiveness, and permanence. Personalization turns setbacks into proof of personal inadequacy. I failed because I am not good enough. Pervasiveness spreads failure from one area to all aspects of life: work, relationships, self-worth. Permanence cements the belief that things will never change. These distortions transform external events into a narrative of defeat. The mind internalizes blame, shrinking the world and shutting down hope. Failure becomes not just an event, but an identity. The belief in change disappears, replaced by a sense of being trapped. The 3 Ps lock the cage of learned helplessness. They extinguish hope by convincing you that tomorrow will be no different. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to breaking free. Change begins by challenging the story you tell yourself. When disappointment is constant, withdrawal becomes a logical act of self-preservation. The brain learns that social engagement leads to pain, so it retreats. Declining invitations, avoiding calls, each act of withdrawal brings relief from anticipated hurt. This relief reinforces isolation, shrinking your world. Opportunities for positive connection vanish, confirming the belief that you're alone. The silence of solitude becomes proof of your inadequacy, not its cause. The fortress you build for protection becomes a prison. Humans need connection for emotional stability. By cutting yourself off, you trade one kind of pain for another: loneliness. The logic of retreat is flawless, but its conclusion is desolation. The way out begins with risking connection again, however small. In learned helplessness, the mind enters cognitive lethargy, a resistance to effortful thinking. Planning and problem-solving are avoided because hope has become painful. The brain suppresses even the urge to think, fearing disappointment. This mental fog makes action feel impossible, even when solutions are visible. Self-criticism grows. Why can't I just do it? The brain's attempt to avoid pain blocks the very tools needed for recovery. Cognitive lethargy is a scorched earth policy, burning ambition to prevent false hope. It achieves short-term relief, but entrenches helplessness. The mind becomes its own jailer, guarding the exits with fog. Recovery requires gently reawakening the capacity to think and plan. Recovery isn't about sudden willpower. It's a gradual process rooted in neuroplasticity. The brain can unlearn helplessness by rebuilding the link between effort and reward. The key is to restart the dopamine system with small, guaranteed successes. Aim for micro goals. Make your bed, wash a dish. Actions where effort leads directly to a result. Each small win generates a trickle of dopamine, signaling that action matters. These tiny victories create new neural pathways, slowly restoring motivation. The process is delicate and requires patience. Don't aim for grand achievements, focus on manageable tasks. Each success is a new data point, challenging the brain's expectation of failure. Over time, these small wins accumulate, raising the baseline of hope. The bridge between effort and reward is rebuilt plank by plank. Recovery is slow, but every small step matters. The climate of the mind begins to change, one drop at a time. The path out is paved with micro-victories, setting the bar low so success is certain. A micro-victory is completing a single immediate task, washing a dish, putting on shoes, replying to one email. The task itself is less important than the act of completion and acknowledgement. Each micro-task provides proof that effort isn't always futile. Watering a plant or making the bed closes the loop between intention and outcome. Celebrate these tiny achievements as real victories. This reframing is crucial, highlighting success to retrain the brain. Over time, micro-victories accumulate, raising confidence and thinning the fog of lethargy. The world feels less overwhelming, more manageable. The art of rebuilding is quiet and powerful, one tiny victory at a time. Each small act is a step toward reclaiming agency. The fog lifts, not with a gust, but with 1,000 rays of light. This is how a life is rebuilt, gently, persistently, and with compassion. Recovery requires understanding that rest is not defeat. The urge to push hard after a spark of motivation can backfire. The system is still fragile. New neural pathways need time to strengthen. Rest is not laziness, it's necessary healing. Allow yourself stillness. Acknowledge the exhaustion you've endured. Rebuilding is gradual, not dramatic. It looks like getting out of bed, sitting in the sun, or simply allowing yourself to rest without judgment. Each small act of self-compassion is a step forward. You are not broken or lazy. You are recovering from being pushed beyond your limits. The path back is slow, with many pauses. Be gentle with yourself and celebrate every small win. In the quiet, real healing happens. The erosion was slow, so is regrowth. But it is possible, and it is happening, quietly, gradually, undeniably. Recovery is not a sprint, but a gentle walk toward hope.